Today we are going to one of the largest countries in the world, which is the 7th in terms of territory and the 2nd in population after China, with as many as 1.4 billion inhabitants, but also one of the dirtiest countries in the world, where the street views, housing buildings and public places are unpleasant, given the appallingly poor sanitary conditions. Otherwise full of interesting places and a lot of culture, India is really a place worth seeing, although really sometimes the dirt really comes in excess. Many different ethnic groups live here, speaking over 20 different languages. It can be said that English will come in handy during your visit to India, as the country was a British colony for many years and the Indian language itself has many borrowings from English. The Indian population is made up of many different ethnic groups, with Indo-Aryans predominating in the country. There are many local religions, but the largest religious community is Hindus, who are 80% of the population, followed by Muslims, who are around 14%. The reasons for the country's huge population lie in a number of reasons from the past, as the pension system was unknown in the country and people produced more children to provide for their old age, as well as more labor in agricultural work. Poverty in India is one of the biggest social problems facing the country. Over 364 million people, or about 28% of India's population, live below the poverty line, a large number of whom are children. Poverty manifests itself in inadequate access to food, health care and education, and often families cannot afford to feed their children the necessary foods, leading to chronic malnutrition and disease. Also, many children do not get an education because their families cannot afford to send them to school due to lack of funds. According to the data, millions of people live on $1 to $2 a day. Dirt is also a serious problem affecting millions of people in the country. According to research, a huge percentage of the population lives in filthy conditions, often without access to a toilet in their own home, and defecating outside is not uncommon. One of the main causes of the misery is the inadequate collection and disposal of waste. Often, large amounts of garbage are thrown into the streets, rivers and lakes, causing environmental pollution and health risks for the population. These factors led to the spread of various diseases and infections, such as diphtheria, cholera and dysentery. It seems that the problem is very difficult to solve, but if the state and citizens do not unite on this issue, people will continue to live in these catastrophically bad conditions. Naturally, as in most places, poverty equals crime. According to the statistics of the National Crime Bureau in India, the number of crimes in the country is increasing by 3 to 4% every year. The most common crimes are murder, rape and theft. Drugs are also a serious problem in the country, with drug addiction spreading among the youth. Organized crime is also widespread, with mafia groups controlling many of the country's economic sectors. According to unofficial data, the number of murders in India per year exceeds 50,000. Unfortunately, this is one of the countries where slavery still exists, and according to unofficial data, the number of slaves in the country exceeds 20 million people. Of course, do not imagine slaves as in the past, but rather imagine roughai serving their masters whatever their demands may be, with no right to resist or leave their master. Now let's move a little to the daily life in the country so that we know what awaits us on our visit here. You must have heard that cows are a symbol of the Hindu goddess, and in India beef is never consumed. In addition, on the streets of the country you will see cows roaming freely, which are in no way disturbed by people. Even traffic jams often occur due to the passing cows. Be careful with your treatment of these animals and do not hurt them under any circumstances, because you face severe consequences and imprisonment. Other popular representatives of the animal world that freely roam the Indian streets are monkeys. Keep your bags and personal belongings safe because these monkeys like to make mischief and steal things. The dozens of religions that are part of the culture of different communities have led to some very strange customs. One of them is cremation in the Ganges River, which is practiced by 700 million Hindus. The river is extremely dirty and unhealthy, but because it is considered sacred, people like to bathe in it. In its vast territories, India has endless forested areas, wide deserts, the incredible Himalayan mountain range and numerous islands. In some parts of the country there are even primitive tribes that have never had anything to do with the modern world, and entering their territories is absolutely forbidden, as these people can kill you without a second thought. There is also a very interesting group of people in the country called sadhus. They are ascetics and are sort of like monks in the Hindu religion. Their lives are spent in complete solitude and hermitage, having no income, so they live very poorly and subsist only on alms. When you come here, you will be impressed by the famous street food in India, which, despite the wretched hygienic conditions in which it is sold, attracts a large number of tourists. It may seem strange to you considering all the negative facts that I have presented to you so far, but I must tell you that India is one of the countries that has very advanced technology, and even the country has its own space program that it has been running since 2008. In addition, Bollywood, which is the Indian version of Hollywood, is famous as the largest film industry in the world, with more than 1,000 films being shot here in 1 year. Because there are so many things that can be told about India and there is no way to put it all in one video, in the future I will post more videos about the country, and if you don't want to miss them, please subscribe with the bell to get a notification when I upload a new video. Thank you for being with us. I'll see you soon.